It has been seriously just a whirlwind right now. We are just rolling through everything. Yak, thank you so much just for sticking with me on this. Like, I think we have shot this, like, I don't know how many times now, but people have been telling me, like, like when you first start, it's going to be terrible. Like, there's, like, don't expect anything else. It's going to be bad. You're going to keep getting better from it. And, yeah, like, when I first heard that, I was, like, a little hurt. I was like, it's gonna be bad. Like, what do you mean? They're like, oh yeah, you won't know what you're doing at first, but like, as you keep going along, it'll get better and better. So I'm like, all right, yeah, that sounds good. I mean, you are a YouTuber, Yak. You don't like to say it. You are a YouTuber. You have been MIA for a little bit. Big boy job. You got responsibilities now.
We got things we need to do. I wouldn't call my. I would. It was more of a passion project for me than anything.
No, yeah, I think. Well, we both know, like, if you're gonna do something, you might as well love it. We've had this conversation before, but like when you first started a YouTube channel, what was the thought process? What were you thinking? Was it just like, oh man, I want to entertain for people? Because like right now, I've talked to so many people, and like right now they're just everyone's starting a YouTube channel right now. It's a little crazy out there. Just with COVID, they just like they want to put themselves out there. Like, what was like? You're one of the first friends I knew that like just randomly did it and was just like, yeah, I had this going. Like what was your what made you decide to get a YouTube channel? Like you've done this way before anyone. I felt like, at least in the people I know of.
I guess growing just up, whenever a teacher would say, you can't make a PowerPoint presentation for this presentation, you need to do something else. My buddies and I would always turn to video editing and making videos, which I don't think everyone would normally do. I think most people would stray away from having to show a video of them in front of the entire class. But I think that's just something I kind of grew up doing. So when COVID hit, I started golfing, right? Golf was my thing. But golf is expensive, and it gets cold in Minnesota pretty soon, so you can't always golf. So when it started turning colder, and I was running low on cash, I'm like, you know what? All right, we're gonna try getting into this kind of YouTube swing full bore. And my first video, it was like a Among Us skit. Shout out to my brother for getting me this.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Ooh, custom Among Us character on
little
it.
Drip. Some drip.
Yeah. Woo. That's a bit. I digress though. And I guess the main point of me making videos wasn't to ever blow up or get popular. I doubt I ever will do that for that purpose. I think the point of me was I wanted to put something out there that could make one or two of my buddies laugh. It's my form of making memes or sending funny pictures. It's just editing and creating funny videos that I can share with a few of my buddies.
And that is so true though, dude. Just like when you create not even just a podcast, but a YouTube channel, like you're basically creating something that most like 9 times out of 10, like no one will ever see it. Like maybe like 10 views, 20 views, like little stuff, like little views. And like someone was like asked me about that, like like I said before, they said like when you first start this off, it's gonna be terrible, like it's gonna be a learning curve, like as you're seeing today. It has just been a learning curve for all of us, and it's just gonna keep getting better and better and better. But like they said, when you first start off, it's gonna be terrible, and not a lot of people are gonna see it. Was that like just a love for like just making quality content, and like wanting your friends was enough for you, or is it just something like, oh hey, like I actually have like a love and passion for this?
I'd say it's a bit of both. Like the amount of time I put into, especially the last videos I've made, you have to enjoy the process of it to even like commit to doing that. Like right now, I'm on a hiatus of it because I just simply don't have the time to do it. You do like those last 2 story videos I ended up making probably took me 24 hours, like writing, editing, and finishing it all up and polishing it. Probably took like 24 hours. So
and these are like 10-minute videos too. Like these are not like they're short videos, but like you are putting like, and I've seen your work. Like we can get into that in a second, but like man, dude, the editing is so crazy. Like I remember you telling me about like you did like 15 hours like on just like I don't even know how many minutes before like which one was it you were telling me about?
Yeah, keyframes is a trigger word for me right now.
All right.
Editors in the audience will know what that is, but like I would say I don't know if you're asking about kind of my editing style or what.
It is so different though. That's the thing. Like it's like a unique storytelling where you're not just like in front of a camera talking. You're not like vlogging. It's literally you like using like real life characters and like giving us a setting and like almost like creating a visual for us like in our head, but like right in front of us. Like it's a huge like a new style of editing that I've never seen before. Like you want to talk like go in more depth
Yeah,
about
I
it?
mean, like, so I realized that me just sitting in a chair telling a story for 10 minutes is probably not the most entertaining thing. Like, sure, I could make some funny facial expressions or whatever, and I'm sure it'd get a few cheap laughs, but that's not gonna make people enjoy the process. And I quickly realized that I am not an artistic person either, so that rules out me doing those draw my life videos where you just see crazy people draw crazy things and like animate and edit that. So what I ended up doing is just kind of taking still images that I found either that I had taken or on the internet and kind of, I wouldn't say animated, but just kind of made them move across the screen. It's kind of like taking Photoshop and kind of giving it a flash game animation style almost. It's kind of hard to explain even for me, even though I'm the one who makes it, but it's been a way for me to set a scene and show people kind of how the story unfolds without having to break the bank on paying an anime. Like,
No, yeah. I mean, so can you give me what do you go through to make those videos? Like we obviously know you spend a serious amount of time on it. Like what takes you so long with like just the whole editing process?
okay, I'm starting from the top, so I started with, like I mentioned earlier, the Among Us skit, right?
Mhm.
That I think I saw some different colored shirts at Walmart, came up with the idea, bought the shirts, brought them home, shot the thing, animated it, or didn't even animate that one, just kind of edited it together, and that probably took like 10 hours. And then I just gradually over time, I kept kind of upping the quality, because if I was putting my name on something, I knew I wanted it to be up to something I could show to people and say, hey, I made this. So then I started pulling clips from the presidential debates as they were going on and editing those to make people say funny things that weren't
Classic.
necessarily the most appropriate for the podcast, or mature, I guess is a better word. And then after that, I realized, well, I can't really show that to my grandma. So I kind of adapted to more of a just telling stories of things I've experienced in my life. And I would write the story just down on a piece of paper, so I had kind of a loose script of what I wanted to say. And usually while that's going on, I would get pictures of kind of how I was going to animate these pictures. And if there was, I would kind of tailor kind of the wording of the story to how I would future animate it. But that process takes a while, like getting it so it's if a story that still flows but can also match up with animating it's a process. That writing it probably takes me 3 hours. Then I have to record it, and I have a tendency to mumble sometimes. I also have a tendency to just kind of slur words or not say exactly what's written down on the piece of paper. So oftentimes I'll have to go almost sentence by sentence and just record a sentence a few times over until I get a good sentence that I like the sound structure of, and then clip all those together. That'll take another 3 hours. And then, like I said, keyframes, man, they are not fun to do. They make the animation look so much better. Like, so I would go probably for every 10 seconds, I'm spending 10 to 20 minutes just ironing out. This is when little picture of me wearing a backpack from school pops in, and then he's gonna hop on a bus, and trying to do that with just 2D images and getting it just right so it conveys the right pacing and the right messaging, syncing up the audio, and still looks decent enough to post. Like it's just a long process.
Oh, it sounds painful. It definitely does sound painful.
There are definitely, if I'm sitting down, I'm like, I'm going to be staring at the screen for the next 16 hours, and there is nothing I can do other than grind through it if I want this video to get up. It's tough.
Well, I mean, I remember watching your first video, and like the first thing I said to you was like, your voice sounded so like, I don't even know, like you're so calm. It was just like, I was like, I don't know, like it felt like I was listening to like a meditation almost at first, and I was just like, dang, like kind of like this could be a storyteller one day. Yeah, keep that in mind for sure.
I appreciate it. I think that's the first compliment. I know everyone hates the sound of their own voice.
I know, right?
It's like I could not. I'll watch plus I'm editing it, so I'm hearing constant reading loops of me saying it, getting these picture lines. So it drives me nuts. By the time I post it, I'm usually sick of the videos. So.
It's like, I'm sick of myself, honestly. Like, I'm over it.
It is ridiculous, actually. Like, you hear it so often, and you're, like, trying to line things up, and you notice every detail when you're rewinding every 5 seconds, you'll notice every single editing error you make. And so if you don't go back and fix all of those, or at least you fix most of them, and then you know that there's one or two issues that you see, like those can really bug you, and that can wear on you as you're doing the editing process, because you're posting something that you at times still see some mistakes in.
Yeah.
Even though you've spent 16 hours, and for the most part, I think people that watch it think it's a pretty cool like way of editing, but what you're seeing is all the mistakes and all the missed opportunities, and that can wear on you a bit, like mentally, as you're editing videos.
No, yeah, and so like we've already said this before, we shot the first episode here, but we messed up with the audio, so we're reshooting this time. And I went back and I watched my part, so like the only feed I could watch was mine. I remember like looking back at it, because like podcast is just like such a unique thing. Like I have no idea what I'm gonna say to you like within like a minute or 2 minutes. Like I am formulating everything on the spot. Like it's just coming right here in my head, and like I want it to be good, and like just like trying to like, you know, gather my thoughts and like give something to the viewers, something good to see. And like I was watching some of it and I was like kind of sick of myself almost. I'm like, is this what I sound like, or this is what I like? I don't know. Like it is like, I understand what you're saying. Like the whole editing process is so crazy, dude. And like by the end of it, you're just like critiquing yourself so much, and like it even got me a little bit nervous when we're doing the reshoots today, and I'm a little bit nervous. Like I'm like, you know, like you only get one crack at it. Like very rare you're gonna get a second crack at it for like a podcast. So like for me, like I was a little bit stressed coming into this. Like even just for this first one, like, you know, like damn, like, you know, we got to nail this thing right here.